Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between that, welcome on into a very confusing video. Honestly, politics is always a confusing subject. It's hard to talk about because I like getting giggly and silly in front of a camera, and whenever politics get into the party, everything gets soiled. The social media has been running politics a lot lately, but politics has always been a weird subject. It's that one thing your uncle brings up at Thanksgiving dinner that you get into an argument with him with, and then all your family decides to go visit the bathroom at the exact same time. But today, I want to make you all want to visit the latrine because I want to talk about the most confusing presidential candidate I've ever seen in my life. And there's quite a few options for who that could be, but the thumbnail probably answers the question for you. But regardless, I wanted to make a joke, so I'm going to talk anyway. There's a lot of different choices that have been potential presidential candidates in the past few years. First, a few years ago, it was the orange guy or the criminal lady with emails. Then it was the orange guy or the old guy. And then it was the orange guy and the old guy again, but then the old guy left and decided to bring in a mom? She acts like a mother. I mean, every video I've seen of her, she's like, you gotta take the adobo, put the adobo sauce on the chicken, and you get... It's a confusing situation because I don't know who to vote for because, honestly, I don't care for any of them. And so I decided, let's look out to the horizon, the yonder over there. And see the guy over there? Who's that? Oh, Robert Kennedy? Like the JFK one? Yeah, the JFK one, except his nephew, Robert Kennedy, who's been running for president as well, but many people probably have no idea because he's kind of just been gatekept from any conversation regarding politics. There was literally a video where he decided to join the presidential debate. Remember the presidential debate? I live streamed it a little while ago where the orange guy and the old guy decided to yell at each other, and honestly, none of it made sense. Do you know that RFK FaceTimed in? He ran another debate on a separate channel where he had their debate playing on a big screen, and he would answer the questions that the proctor would say on their debate. But, like, there's no debate. He's arguing with a screen. He is literally arguing. He's like an old man yelling at the news station. And shockingly enough, that's the least confusing thing about Robert Kennedy. He has a lot of weird issues, specifically with his brain, which is a really funny thing to say considering the Kennedys seem to have a very poor track record with keeping all of their neurons kept in one single skull. But OG Savarino viewers might remember that I've talked about this one thing about RFK in the past, but don't worry, there's more. There's just so much more that goes behind this interesting little lad. But the first one, and the one that makes me truly think that he is fit to be our upcoming president, is that he's missing part of his brain. What the hell? What does that mean? Well, he wasn't born that way. It's not like he was born with a quarter brain. He actually had it eaten. What? What? Let me put this into perspective. You know how, like, if you're playing a video game and you do something stupid or make a mistake and someone says, what, do you have brain worms or something? Well, let me just say that would hit close to home for our boy Robert because he does. He has brain worms. I'm sorry. My bad. Had brain worms. The worm died. Not due to treatment or anything. He died of hunger. There was just no brain left. No, it died, and the reasoning is currently sort of unknown, but Robert's current theory is that he eats a lot of tuna, and the lethal dose of mercury that comes from the amount of tuna that he would be consuming on a daily basis probably fried that poor worm to death. Which makes me worry more about you. You're like a walking Fallout ghoul. Like, I unironically feel like if I put a Geiger counter up to Robert Kennedy, it would sound like a beehive. And I love that he, like, forgot why he got the brain worms, too. He initially said it's because he ate raw goat, which, like, no shit, of course you're gonna get brain worms. But then he said, no, actually, my bad, I forgot. In Africa, I ate a dog. You ate a dog? Don't worry, though, it was barbecued, which leads to more questions than answers, I'm not gonna lie. And so my question is he gonna be the president, or is the worm piloting him like Plankton pilots a person mech? Is he a worm in a human mech? Or are we gonna have a worm president? It's gonna be like that plot from Smiling Friends. I don't even get how he is operating with a fraction of his brain missing. Like, he has to be a lizard person, right? I mean, that's not the only thing that points towards his amphibious nature. I mean, have you heard his voice before? Have you heard him speak ever? Listen to this clip really quickly and tell me that's not actually a salamander wearing human skin.
By commending President Biden for a career in public service, for a long career.
That unironically sounds like vocal Velcro. Like, when I listen to him speak in different various forms of media, I feel painful. Like, when he talks, I feel like I need to clear my throat. How does that even happen? Like, I feel bad for him. I'm really praying he doesn't have, like, a debilitating disability, and that's why his voice sounds like that. I'm hoping he just sounds weird, because then I can feel not bad giggling at it. But it is weird. It sounds weird, and makes me feel weird when I listen to it. So he should be the president, clearly. He also has his toes dipped into basically every single QAnon conspiracy theory you could ever put your hands behind. There's a bunch of them, but I'll just go over a few of them. One of them being like COVID-19. It was a simulation. It was all made up. And I don't know about you, but my pancreas died when I got COVID, so it felt pretty real to me. As well as him saying that apparently it targets only certain races and others have immunity. I don't know the validity of that, but it sounds rather absurd if I do say so myself. There's also a tweet that I just saw while I was scrolling around that he sent out on July 5th, 2024, giving his take on 9/11, which, Kennedy, you're late by a few years, about 23 of them, actually. There's also one where he said that, the assassination of John F. Kennedy was set up by the CIA, which is definitely, that's absurd. That would never happen. That's not real. See, the joke is that it probably is actually very real. I'm kidding. No, it's not. It's not at all. Government, please do not turn my home into the Fortnite map. It's just a bit of banter, a bit of satire. Being a little bit of a goofy guy. Being a silly guy. Dude. Anyways, Robert Kennedy, that's what we're talking about. And his other weird story, and the other reason that made me want to make this video, that completely blows my mind, but of course makes sense. It's par for the course for this guy, because he is a walking anomaly with a quarter of a brain. And it's that he is behind the murder of a bear that happened 10 years ago, which sounds really confusing, so allow me to explain. So there was a story where a bear was found dead in a park, hit by a bike. No rider on the bike. The bear was just dead in front of the bike. And that was like a weird story. And if you know anything about bears or about bikes, that's the dumbest story you've probably ever heard in your life. Go ahead. You can giggle. Okay, I'll allow a second. Thank you. Appreciate it. Because if a bike were to hit a bear, it would bounce off of him like you're trying to throw a rock at a tank. That just doesn't make sense. And so apparently, 10 years later, we learned in an interview that of all people, RFK himself is the one who hit that bear with his car accidentally, and then he was going to take it home, but instead decided to stage the death of the bear in the park as if a bike hit it. What was he thinking? He clearly wasn't thinking. This must be in the worm era that he was in, because the worm was piloting the mech at that point. This can't be a human that did this. And then, 2 days ago, the autopsy for the bear released, and we learn an interesting new detail, and I'm just gonna pan over to the article. Let you read the title really quickly. RFK Jr. stuck his hand in the Central Park bear's mouth. Necropsy shows that he may have been knuckle deep in her leaked brain. So it looks like he's not the only one having brain issues in his local vicinity. What did you do to that bear and why? Were you wearing it like a Muppet? Why did you put your whole arm down that motherfucker? Like, I know it says knuckle deep, but that means knuckle deep in her leaked brain, which means he was in the throat, hand in the brain, doing a little tickle. Maybe he was trying to get pieces. Like, he's trying to build himself back together like some sort of morbid Frankenstein, but only with the brain, which is the most important part. He saw that bear corpse on the side of the road and was like, bazinga! I can take back what that worm stole from me. And then decided to put it in the park with a bike. Clearly the pieces didn't work for you, buddy. I also love this other article I saw about RFK that said that RFK says that he admits for falling to online misinformation, quote unquote, all the time. Which, I mean, to be fair, if I only had 75% of my brain, I probably would as well, but that's just so funny, because honestly, he's not the only one. If you go look at Donald Trump's recently unbanned Twitter account, we have a video that he posted of him and Elon AI dancing together. That is so cute. Oh my god, I can't wait for their fanfiction. One of these people is going to win our government. This is actually a horrifying election. This is so scary. But until one of these old freaks trips and hits the big red button in the center of the Oval Office that turns our entire continent into the Fallout plot, I'm gonna just sit in here in my basement and giggle and laugh a little bit. So thank you for being here. Subscribe if you were new and like the video if you liked it. If you did, and if you didn't like it, because politics suck, like the video anyway. This is a psyop, and you have to like the video. There's no more dislike button. I had YouTube remove it. But thank you for being here, and as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and, yeah, we're cooked. This is it, guys.